A new single has come out by Lil Wayne featuring XXXTentacion. With both the music video and lyrics, there's a lot to comprehend, so let me break it down for you. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to King Trending. Number 7. Singing from Beyond. Naturally, this is a very somber collaboration as X is no longer with us. Ironically, Lil Wayne is the latest rapper to pay tribute to the former young singer by splicing in recorded songs that were made before his passing. X was working on his X album before his passing, and his mother and others have let other rappers such as Lil Wayne use bits and pieces of it in songs to honor him. In the case of Don't Cry, Lil Wayne uses Don't Cry, Don't Go, Won't Lie, Love You, well. This was taken from another song that X was planning to do, and some even speculate that it was meant to be a call out for his former girlfriend, one whom he had a very public and rather harsh relationship with. There was even allegations against X on his girlfriend, but those have long since been closed due to his passing. Still, even if it was made for another song, it fits perfectly with Lil Wayne in here, because it's a symbol of how certain people felt about X, and how they didn't want him to go so soon.
To X, I love you, you will be missed.
So ironically, X has actually grown in his fan base since his passing, and they're incredibly loyal to him despite him not being around anymore. Number 6. Clouds.
That I'm trying to feel because X will always be here with me.
Keeping on the X side of things, Lil Wayne starts off the main verse of Don't Cry by singing out, staring into the clouds. Am I rising or are they coming down? This may seem like a very simple line, one where it's just Lil Wayne being confused about a situation or something, but actually it's a bit more than that. For here, Lil Wayne is asking about the perspective that he finds himself in, because everything in this world is based on perspective in one form or another. In this case, he's viewing the clouds in terms of life, and all what it means. Take the first line. He stares into the clouds, but where is he in comparison to the clouds? Well, that's what he's asking. To his eyes, the clouds are moving, and that seems to be stressing him out. After all, he's rising up to meet the clouds. Then that means he's passed away, and that he's ascending to the next life. But if they're coming down, that likely means that the world is ending, and he's going to watch it end. This is also a reference to X, likely in how he passed and he had to move on to the next world, which in some legends is just beyond the clouds. So by referencing the clouds, Lil Wayne is talking about life as a whole and the uncertainty of what lies beyond them. This also ties into the first few seconds of the music video for Don't Cry, where we get a rather beautiful sky shot, and then a spire seems to pierce through the clouds as if it was built upon them. This is an obvious symbolization of heaven or the various afterlives that have been spoken about in stories or mythologies. Another call to X who many hope is up there right now in peace without the stress of being on this planet full of pain and suffering. Number 5. Trees. Lil Wayne keeps the visual imagery going in the song, this time singing about trees. Need my family tree next to a money tree, with a bunch of leaves in the Garden of Eden, with a bunch of Eves, no fruit punch from me. There's no misinterpreting parts of this, as he's clearly going biblical again, something that Lil Wayne doesn't do that often. But first, let's talk about that first line. He wants his family to be next to a money tree, which is something that is ingrained in our culture. As to many, the goal of our lives is to have enough money so that you can do all that you want. The line, money doesn't grow on trees, is meant to be a cautionary tale about how money is earned and cannot just be gotten. Although there are exceptions to this rule, obviously. And although he's singing like this, likely to give context to how he wants to take care of his family, Lil Wayne himself is actually quite well off. He's worth $120 million, and he's still one of the hottest draws in the rap world. Earlier in January, he teamed up with Imaginary Dragons to do the National College Football Championship halftime show. Yet he even acknowledges that there will never be enough money for everything that he and his family want to do. So thus he wants a money tree. The reference to the Garden of Eden is a curious one, however. In the Christian and Jewish Bible, the Garden of Eden was made to be the perfect place on the world that the Creator God has made. It was also the birthplace of the first humans in the world, Adam and Eve. He allowed them to not only live in the garden, but partake in all of its wonders, except for the one tree, the tree of good and evil. Satan, aka the devil, would later tempt Eve to take the fruit of the tree of the good and evil. She ate it and gave it to Adam, thus bringing sin upon the world. After they realized what they had done and noticed that they were naked, they went and got leaves to make clothes for them. So what is Lil Wayne trying to say here? Well, it's complicated because he's clearly referencing what life was before the fall of man, where the Garden of Eden was truly a paradise and everything was fine. He's not saying that he wants the leaves of Eden to clothe himself, but rather he wants them because they're perfect leaves, and he wants to be in a place of pure beauty, which is likely also what he means by a bunch of Eves, because Lil Wayne likes to be surrounded by beautiful women, and yet he doesn't want to have their fruit punch, symbolizing that he doesn't want any more of the chaos that is going on in the world today, and it's not hard to see why he'd want that, given the state the world is in right now. Number 4, the worlds we live in. The music video for Don't Cry is painted in all sorts of imagery that reflect the rather deep nature of the song. Let's start at the beginning. We see Lil Wayne in a type of primitive world, you could say early fantasy world based on the clothing that he and the ladies are wearing. Much of what Lil Wayne is doing is looking around the world that he finds himself in and trying to understand all that he's experiencing. But then we shift to a singular dark room with Lil Wayne decked out in his classic attire, shades, a leather jacket, and more. After that, we go to a room that was clearly inspired by the TV show and book series Game of Thrones, completed with his own Iron Throne. What does this all mean though? Well, it can be interpreted that in our lives, we go through many different worlds, and how we interact with those worlds will determine how we grow through our lives. In many fantasy stories, part of the story is about exploration and finding out what lies across the next hill or the next country, or meeting new people. In real life, it's very similar. Part of the journey is exploration and finding out what's next in our lives. Where do we go to school? What are we doing once school is over? How will we become our best selves? Then in the modern world, it's about how you view yourself, how you'll endure the spotlights that are put upon you, and whether you'll be able to cope with what is coming and what you become. Finally, there's the Game of Thrones world. We're going to do this very loosely. The whole point of Game of Thrones is to become the ruler of the 7 kingdoms. There are ruling houses and interesting parties and many conspiracies and betrayals in order to sit upon the Iron Throne, for whoever sits there is the true ruler, and in our world, we have a similar thing going on. Sure, there's no true Iron Throne, but there is a game of sorts going on. Mainly, a game for power, for wealth, and to achieve true status. Not everyone in the Game of Thrones wants the throne, but they have goals of their own, and they want to achieve it no matter what. And that's very reminiscent of our world, as we're forced sometimes to choose how far we'll go to get a goal and who we will leave in our wake in order to get it. Number 3, blind and hungry. Back to the lyrics, Lil Wayne takes another stab in profoundness with a set of lyrics that go, colorblind, even if I may be blue. A lot on my plate, ain't my favorite food, but I'm hungry, so hungry. This speaks right to the heart of the human condition. We wonder what if we're seeing is real, or in some cases, real enough. Are we seeing something we shouldn't? Should we even be looking at it at all times? Then there's the food reference, which is very plain in how we're always hungry for something. And when we don't get what we want, we know it's not our favorite. And even though we eat it at times, we're still hungry. Hungry for more, hungry for what we deserve. And that's a big driving force for many. They're tired of being at the bottom, so they'll claw and scrape and move to get out of that situation that they find themselves in so that they won't be hungry anymore. Number 2, eternal life.
At least 5 million kids happy.
Have you ever thought about living forever? Well, even if you haven't, many others have. And it's becoming an obsession for many. One of the greatest fears of humanity is that they'll die young and not get to live out the rest of their lives with either their loved ones or be able to achieve the dreams and successes that they were aiming for. There are whole science branches dedicated to trying to crack the secret of either extended or eternal life. And Don't Cry proves that Lil Wayne, likely in regards to X's passing, has thought about it, noting, I sip from the fountain of youth. So if I die young, blame the juice. Bury me in New Orleans. Tombstone reads, don't cry, stay tuned, bring me back to life. Gotta lose a life just to have a life. Don't get the wrong idea though. Lil Wayne actually hasn't found the fountain of youth, which is said to give eternal life to those who drink from it, but rather he's admitting that he's likely on borrowed time because he has an addiction, one that'll very likely take his life, thus blame the juice. The last line is likely a reference to how some people spend their whole lives living one way, and then they'll have a near-death experience, and when they return, they'll live their lives a different way because they understand that they've been given a rare second chance. Lil Wayne might be singing that he wants one himself, or that he wishes X got that chance.
And it was easy. It wasn't no such thing as yes or no. It was
Number 1, paying respect.
You feel me? Now let's have fun.
Though this was their first official collaboration, Lil Wayne made sure that X wasn't just heard in the song, but seen in the music video, even dedicating the last part of the song to him and giving him a fitting tribute card at the end. And that's just about it. So what did you think of our breakdown of Don't Cry? Did you like this unique collaboration between Lil Wayne and X? Do you think that this is another song worthy of the late singer? Also, what was your favorite part about the music video and lyrics? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these three. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.